Management was not ready for my compliance.
This is a doozy, so kudos to anyone who reads this novel. About 20 years ago, I worked in call center at a budding payment processing company. The main performance metric was the time service factor, TSF, which required answering 80% of calls within 20 seconds. Due to a constant queue of calls, achieving this goal was impossible. Customers were unhappy. Management was unhappy. The stage was set. Enter tech support. I was hired fresh out of high school to be the call center's sole tech support and handle customer-facing application migrations. In retrospect, they basically brought me on as a project manager and systems consultant, but I didn't know any better.
Unfortunately, our telephony system did not direct callers based on specialization/skill sets, so when customers called in specifically for tech support, there was a 1 in 15 chance of getting the lone tech support agent. Instead of investing in more tech support staff and overhauling the phone VRU menu, management decided the best system was to have representatives physically line up at my desk. It was frustrating and extremely overwhelming to balance my migration projects and the queue of callers that were waiting for me. So I adapted by remaining in not ready, as much as possible. Not ready means your line will only ring for direct calls, but only my team had my direct line. Things were going smoother in terms of handling tech calls, people were lining up less, but management was not happy that the TSF goal was not being met.
Then one day my lead pulled me aside and confronted me with my telephony stats. My not ready times were 10x everyone else's, to which I reminded them that I'm the only technician, and if 14 other people were lined up at my cubicle then they're clogging the lines with people on hold waiting for me. Management did not care. I had a special skill, but I was not special enough to be exempt from the metric. No more not ready. Cue malicious compliance. I pretended my not ready button no longer existed and went about being a rank and file call center rep. The moment I was done with one call, I had to pick up the next. This meant during migration waves and outages, there were moments where my entire team was lined up at my desk waiting to transfer their callers to me. After about 1,015 minutes of just seething by my cubicle's window, some began to confront me.
I explained that I was forbidden from using "not ready" to keep my line open. The call queue would have to die down completely until my line was open to accept a transfer call. You could cut the tension with a knife. TSF continued to tank. Then call abandon rates skyrocketed. Customers were unhappy. Management was unhappy. So management did the obvious thing and hired more technicians, right? Right? Nope. First, the new protocol was to post a sticky note with the customer's callback number and ticket hash on my desk. Tell the customer to expect my callback. Hang up. Then take the next call. From then on, I was expressly only allowed to conduct the callbacks when there were fewer than 10 callers on hold. Second, they took 2 of the regular call center boomers and sat them with me to job shadow. Third, they tasked my lead with standing over my shoulder to observe my daily activities. What I showed the team lead was that for every 23 tickets I closed out, 10 more callback tickets would roll in. What he actually ended up doing was reprimanding me for having a high Rona rollover not answered count because I'd let some calls roll over if they snuck in while I was doing morning callbacks. Abject dismay. The nightmare finally ended with the mortgage crisis. Management's brilliant business acumen had led the company to insolvency. I jumped ship to complete my college education. Then the company shut down about a year later.
It's hellish to work for people who go out of the way to stop you doing your actual job and follow the rules in a way that makes your job not effective. Anything but hire more staff.
Wow. That is some effed up stuff there. Management at its best.
Regular call center boomers, skull, smiley face.
In some places efficiency can be defined as looking at the sundial with a flashlight. This sounds like it was a company I worked for many years ago called ACS.
As someone who worked for years on developing online chat support systems, unless this was over 20 years ago, chances are that the system could handle the specialist queues. Your boss, or whoever was the admin of the system, was probably too lazy to configure it properly. So many issues could be summed up with, our admin didn't set up the system correctly. Most of the admins setting up the systems weren't even aware of half the features we had, despite having extensive documentation.
Oh man. I know that pain.
This is one for tales from call centers. Perfect opportunity to do exactly as you are told to. Which OFC leads to a disaster, but they know better. So it's just best to follow given instructions. How does such stupid come to be? Inbreeding? Is it just me? Or are the medium length posts on this sub longer than the long posts? Great story, though.
I screamed in CSR.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Aircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.